Hi, we are from Delta Private Limited.
And today we are giving a presentation.
Hi, I'm Lynn, and I'm going to explain the two examples on how the source documents are translated into business transactions. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, when we're translating the business transactions, there's 6 steps that we go through. Step 1, deciding on the type of source document. Step 2, deciding what the date of the transaction occurred is. Step 3, looking at the parties involved, whether it's customers, suppliers, or banks. And step 4, looking at the details of the items description, or to look at the types of goods or services that are being traded. And step 5, looking at the amount and the payment term, whether it's paid on cash or check. And step 6, the additional information like discounts or prepayment or outstanding amounts, etc. Now, let's look at the examples. So this is our first example. We can see that the type of source document it says invoice. So we have to figure out whether it's a sales invoice or a purchase invoice. And then the date is 9th March. And then we look at the parties involved, which in this case is Gosh PT Ltd, and it is our supplier. How do we know? Because it says right here that we are the customer. So Gosh is our supplier. And in step 5, we look at the items description, which is that goods ordered, and it says 38 units of computer. And then we look at the amount. And lastly, we look at any additional information provided to see whether it's a transaction that is paid on credit or whether it's a payment made by cash. So we can see that it says right here, please pay within 30 days. Therefore, we know that we did not pay Gosh by cash immediately. We know this is a purchase on credit. So let's go to a journal entry. So this is our journal entry. Since we just found out that this is a purchase on credit, we have to record accounts payable. So inventory is debited because we're purchasing, and accounts payable to Gosh PT Ltd, our supplier, and is credited since it is a liability. Now let's move on to our next example. However, of course, there are some tricky cases, like special cases, which require more effort than the others. So this is our example of a tricky source document that are kind of not very easy or simple to translate. However, we can see the date, the parties involved, which is Shore PTE Ltd. So, and we can see that it is the return of defective goods. So we know that the goods are being returned, but we have to look at the units, the number of units being returned, which says 20 units of computers, and then it says delivered to us 2 days ago. So from this information, we have to look for the invoices that match the information that is provided here. So we look for the invoices, and oh no, we have 2 invoices. So which one do we look at? Both are from Shore PT Ltd, but just now we looked at the document and it says 20 units and 2 days ago, so we have to match that. And the first one is from 17 March, and the second one is from 20th March. So which one do we choose? It was 2 days ago, so of course we choose the second one, 20th March. And we can see that it matches the description just now, 20 units, so we can confirm that this is the correct invoice. So, since Shore is our customer, and that was a sales transaction, the journal entry is as follows. Now, I'll be passing on to Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby, and today I'll be identifying 2 accounting concepts or principles and how they were used in the project. I have identified 1 accounting concept and 1 accounting principle, and I'll explain how they will apply in this project. The first I've identified is the business entity concept, which states that owner and business are being kept separate, so they are separate entities. Owner personal transaction has to be kept separate. Only the business transactions are recorded. So how does this concept apply to this project? The receipts differentiate the financial data of Delta Private Limited and Delta Tan, who is the owner, and it makes them separate entities. So where are these receipts? The receipts can be found here. On the left-hand side is the share certificate that Delta Private Limited has given to Delta Tan, which states that Delta Tan has now 50,000 ordinary shares. And on the right side is the receipt that Delta Tan has to pay, which is about 125,000 for the ordinary shares. So now Delta Private Limited has billed Delta Tan 125,000 for the 50,000 shares that Delta bought at $2.50 each. The 125,000 contribution by Delta Tan is recorded as increase in company's equity and the ordinary shares capital, rather than being treated as personal income for the owner. Hence, this is very obvious that Delta Private Limited and Delta Tan's transactions are both being kept separate, and hence follow the business entity concept. Furthermore, all the transactions such as the bank loan, supplier payment, and operating expenses are also recorded in the name of Delta Private Limited and not Delta Tan. This ensures that the company financial statement is being recorded very accurately and there's no mix-up with the owner and the business. The second concept I'll be going on is the expense recognition concept, also known as the matching principle. It states that we record expenses in the same period as the revenue, which they can be conveniently associated with. Cash is also paid at the same time as the cost is incurred to generate revenue. Expenses like salary expense of $13,000 and the utility expense of $800. I'll show you the receipts. The receipts are here. Utility expense of the payment and the $13,000 for the salary expense. They were both paid within March and they were both recorded within the same period in the company operated and in which the company operated and generated revenue. So hence, both the $13,000 and $800 were paid and recorded within the month of March. Hence, expenses is recorded in the same period as revenue, and cash is paid in the same period too. Now, I'll be passing on the time to Sean.
Hi, my name is Sean, and today I'll be identifying and explaining two key areas of improvements for ABSS software. Well, I'll be talking about areas of improvements today. So the two areas of improvements that I found out after using the ABSS software are interface and collaboration. Firstly, interface. So the ABSS software interface is actually really outdated. So as you can see, this is a 1995 Apple computer homepage, and below is the ABSS accounting software. So as compared to another accounting software called Xero, so the ABSS software looks way outdated, and it looks similar to the 1995 homepage of the Apple computer. So ABSS software is also really slow when it comes to such system, and sometimes it can also be really laggy. So I'll be showing it to you now. So for example, I currently want to find for sales return. I'm not able to type it in here since it messes it up. Instead, I have to go to the account list. So account list and find out where is it. So sales return, last sales return. Then I can come here and then find out the number. And I can find out. So I need the account ID. And to add on, it's also sometimes really laggy when you're scrolling, when using the mouse pad. As you can see, it's a bit laggy even when I'm scrolling. So this leads to some areas of improvement. So they can frequently update their software to ensure that everything works seamlessly, as well as they can modernize their software to make it for users to easily locate around the things they need. Next, I'll be talking about collaboration. So ABSS is mainly designed for single user environments. So it's mainly only for one user to use. So there are limited features that should allow team collaborations. So this actually causes multiple inconveniences because we are currently working as a team. So it's really hard for us to share our ideas with one another, share our entries with one another, and share our general entries. So some improvements could be ABSS can potentially work towards cloud-based software. So it is like PowerPoint and Word document. So it allows multiple people to work together simultaneously online on one document. So this can definitely increase our productivity as now we are up to date on our one another's progress.
This is the end of our presentation.
Thank you and goodbye.